You're a piece of shit.
Oh,
I know you're not going to see this, but you're a piece
Calling
of
him
shit.
out.
Why?
Wow.
You didn't see
Hostility.
the interview
I
he
didn't.
did with his
If I'm
dad?
asking.
He did an interview with his dad, which, if you listen to Logic's music, you know was an absentee father.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and some odd change of him just belittling his father,
Oh, just talking shit the whole time?
basically.
With
It's
him
like,
there?
And his dad takes it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he takes it, but he's sitting there listening to him.
And then they put it out?
Logic puts it out.
Well, so the dad was like, he had to,
He had to put it out, but
Gave him money.
yeah, he had to get paid
You
for
gonna
it.
sit here while I belittle you?
it's like, Logic,
I'm
you're
gonna
a
pay
piece
you.
of shit, dude. I know you're conflicted. I know your childhood was troubled and shit, but
What bothers you about that?
There should be no way anybody can put their parent on that type of platform and just backhand the fuck out of them publicly. Keep that shit private. We don't need to know about that.
Well, it's
fans, public should not be privy to
But
that
it's
type of shit.
it's an interview, so
No,
obviously, like,
he put that shit out. He made that shit.
Well, but
Yeah,
he
but
wanted us
the
to see
dad
it.
was
the dad
filmed.
had to say okay to it.
it was
Of course,
filmed.
but
So
when you're in a disparaging position, how many times did you guys have both sat here and say people do things?
Oh,
when-
for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
I
people
agree.
do things. I mean,
it's not a
he-
good look
he-
to put personal shit like that on for the public.
Do you
But
think
that's
it's
what you
different when
that's
he's
what
been
you love. You love the tea. You love the gossip. Like that's
That's
what
not
half
tea.
the stuff you talk about.
Logic is a musical artist. Why
That's
are we
tea.
sitting there with the interview of
Personal
him and
stuff
his
is tea,
dad
dog.
about how he wasn't there for him as a kid?
I think that speaks to your position about how you see family things, which is cool. I'm not like saying like that's a bad thing. I think like you're giving us an insight in terms of like you don't think family things should be that.
I'm saying if you're gonna do that, go on Dr. Phil and shit. Don't be like, oh, I'm Logic. Hey, the next piece of content I'm gonna put out is me disparaging my father publicly because one, you guys already know he was a piece of shit, at least from my perspective.
Yeah.
So two, now I'm gonna berate him publicly, and you guys get to see that, and he was a piece of shit because he's not gonna do nothing to me.
He didn't get to say anything back.
Well, it's an interview, but he's just like, he was a drug addict. He wasn't around.
Yeah. So was he saying yes to this stuff?
He's just saying, I can't. What does a drug addict say? How can I be a father when I don't know what it is to live?
That's true.
I don't know what it is to get around.
Yeah.
I did have you, but
You think it's different him saying that when he's been saying it about his dad and the lyrics like for years?
no, I feel like
Is that
it was just
different?
like a one up because it was just like, it was so tasteless, dude. Like, one, your family isn't famous. We don't need to see them. You can talk about them. We don't need to see them. When Eminem was berating his mom, we don't get to see her. We maybe saw one or two pictures of this lady. We're not seeing, you know what?
Do you remember when she made the diss track back to him?
But that's like, we're not getting like, we never saw a sit down of Eminem
Yeah, yeah.
constructing a Dr. Phil interview, but
Yeah.
only asking questions that Eminem wants to ask to his mother. That's some in-house shit. You're not even going to have a therapist up there?
Yeah, but you don't believe in therapists, so what does that mean?
No. But I'm saying if you're so hurt, now you're going to monetize your hurt off of your father's. That's what I'm saying. You don't even have somebody there to mediate that knows what's going on. You're just taking all your pain and now showing the world all your pain at this man that probably now can't say anything because he probably does want money from you or just something. So he is going to publicly sit there and take it from you.
Well, I mean, I guess it's like I'm sure there was like consent and all that. He's like maybe gave an inkling of what it was
He's
about.
an ex-crackhead. He will
monetize
consent
them.
to doing anything. Like, and he wants money. That was the whole, like, you got to see it because I think if you see it, maybe you would have a different understanding of it because I feel weird when I see kids yelling or talking back to their parent. So this is an hour of some guy putting himself way above his dad that we can see is not in a good place.
Yeah. Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched it. I tried to. I couldn't. It's just like, dude, okay, I get it. He ain't a good person, but what are we getting from this?
Content. I mean, I feel like
It sounds like a content creation.
It is, but it's like people are hurting people more for content publicly. It's like, bruh, don't do that to your family. I don't care if he wasn't around. I truly don't. Like, there should be a line drawn.
Well, then isn't it like, so it's okay that, I mean, obviously it's not okay, but like, you just don't like the airing out of personal problems in that specific case or something? Or is it like the familial thing? You don't like the parent disrespect towards the parental
it's in
figure?
the way he did it because it wasn't constructed. Okay, when DMX and his son had issues, his son went to that black lady Ayana and tried to have a mediated thing. DMX wilded out on the camera and he didn't sit there, but it was mediated. Logic is sitting there telling his dad only his perspective of the shit. No mediation. His dad doesn't have the cognizance to be like, hey, man, because he's never been a father, really. You know what I mean? So it's just him talking shit to his dad for however long the interview is. And if you can stomach something like that, then by all means.
Do you think maybe
Like-
he hasn't said a lot of those things to his face, and this is like his chance to be like, this is how I
He
feel?
said it all to his face. He wanted just to
No,
double
exactly.
down and
Like
put it
this
out
is
on camera.
this was like the first time to like maybe they haven't had. I feel like they probably had, but like he hasn't had a moment, and this is like him just letting go through all this rage of like what he's been holding back, and he just happened to film it. Do you think it was like that, or do you?
No,
think-
it's content because he has his podcast. It was content. This is something that has been very known if you're a fan of his. So I feel like it was monetary gain.
well, but like if it's
It doesn't
business,
help
you said
either
there's
of
no
them.
business and there's no morals in business, so it's
But
is it
that's
because it's family?
family.
But that's
Exactly.
a business. Like
No,
you guys were
that's-
talking, you guys were talking about the Kardashians
That's
last week.
marriage. That's his
Family.
child. That's family. Marriage is different. You marry into some shit. That's his kid.
Some would say that chosen family plays more of a part, is more important, depending on
Some
the person.
people don't
than,
have a family, so that's why they take that perspective of it. But he came from him. That's
Yeah.
lineage, living lineage. That's not. Oh, I chose to. That's there should be some formality of respect.
But then, if where's the respect if he was absent?
What do you mean he was absent? What? So now because I wasn't around 30 years later, and you just so happened to make it, you have to now publicly humiliate me?
Well, no, I'm saying like, yeah, he has in lyrics. I don't really follow it. I'm just going off what you guys say, but like he doesn't have a. And yes, it is because it's public, but he doesn't have a right to tell his
No,
his
he has the
father how
right
he
to
feels.
do it all. I'm just saying it's very uncouth.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of this stuff that you this not to this specific event, like you kind of like
Examples.
It's juicy. Like you like
Give me
the gossip
examples.
and stuff.
Yeah, but
whether
give me
it's
examples of the gossip I like, because I don't think it would be anything about a father and a child. Look how hard I was standing up for Kanye and his kid. Like anything like family is family, bro.
I mean, I think I heard. No, I'm
Just a
reiterating.
little bit.
I think I'm reiterating like what I said earlier. I think you're really just also giving us an insight, like on your insight with family. Like I mean, I imagine that you and your dad are not always eye to eye. Like
No.
but I'm also hearing that you would probably never say anything about it.
I could tell him about it, but I'm not going to publicly try to make a spectacle about.
Would you record anything? Like, would you talk about your dad on the podcast?
Yeah, I have.
But like
not
ways that he had done you wrong, if he had. Because I don't want to say that it wasn't, but like,
Yeah, I mean, you can. Yes, you can definitely speak about your experiences.
Yeah.
And like I'm saying, I don't have really any problem with Logic speaking about his experience.
Yeah.
Especially with his dad being there. But if it's obviously as traumatic as it had been with you guys, I just feel like it would have been more productive for you to have maybe a mediator there that can kind of help you guys talk about these things that are difficult instead of you just being monetarily more valuable than your father directing the conversation with the direct that you want it to go.
yeah.
That's where it came off to me as not cool.
Did
It's
they
like,
ever, did they say anything about ever like going and seeing? Because I know like
Logic has probably seen somebody, but I don't know if they've gone together.
that's what. So there's a lot.
That's
This
what-
sounds like a lot behind that. We don't.
It's a lot
we
behind
don't
it.
really
It's
know.
like the first look. Okay, you're gonna give like in a year ago. Like there's just a lot of things with him and his dad. A year ago, he gave his dad a record contract.
Yeah, I
because his
remember.
dad- like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it wasn't like a Hit Boy type of thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was a joke. It was like make some music, I'll sign you. Sign
Yeah.
this paper. And that's just how I feel about Logic. He's just at this point, he's just like using his family as a catalyst to just be like, ha ha ha, I made it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see, I agree where Sean's coming with, like, with the point and the perspective, because it's like, you're coming in with your point of view. That's how you view it. I mean, I can't see it from any other way than I experienced my. I had like not a great relationship with my father, but he was there. He wasn't absent, so I can't really say. Like, he's just. I don't know what sort of like void of feelings, or like maybe all this anger and resentment that balled up for however many years from him not being there. And then I don't know if he contacted his dad or if his dad contacted him.
Would you do something like that publicly though?
Well, I'm not like a public figure in that respect, so I can't speak on that.
Well, he isn't either, in the sense of
they are. He's a tremendously public figure.
But for being a musical artist,
public, you don't get big in the music industry if you don't put your art out into the public sphere.
Who's your favorite artist?
That's
Just
I don't know. That's
just
kind of
throw
like
me
a,
one. Just throw me
that's
one.
a hard question.
No, just okay. Not favorite, but just an artist you like. Give me an artist you like.
in
In general, any medium, any field.
Let's say Vince Staples.
Do you know much about his family?
No,
What
not
was his
really.
dad like? What was his mom like? What were the traumas he has with his parents?
I mean,
Have you seen any
he
content
speaks about
that?
he speaks about it
But
a
that's
lot of it in
different
his songs.
I mean, you're trying to like. I hear what you're saying. I know what you're. I think I know what you're trying to convey, but it's also different people.
It
So
is
you wouldn't
different
expect
people.
it. I think what we're saying, you're saying, and I think both of us would agree with you, is that we probably wouldn't do this to our parent.
That's
But at the same time,
We know people that
your
would.
question about would I have an interview with my parents? Yeah, I would. But like, I mean, I'm not big. I'm not important. Like,
I think
so
any of
to that
us
degree,
would do what you just said, but what he did, I don't know if any of us would do.
and I haven't watched it or anything. I'm reading briefly as we talk right now. You know, so I mean, it does sound like his dad knew about the whole thing.
Of course,
So-
we went into film it, and we're going to talk about this.
And so I do then. It's kind of like when you say, like, if you signed up for it, then can you really say? Because like I know you use that. So I really at this, I mean, like I haven't heard it. So just on this, it's hard for me to be like.
I started this by saying, of course he signed off. Of course he's getting money from this.
No, but it's
He's
hard for me to be like
It's in the
Logic
wrong,
is
yeah.
a dickhead because
got you.
this scenario. Like maybe
But you
this,
are Logic.
maybe this was him in your scenario, like the way you're seeing it, like that was an asshole move. Like, hey, that was an asshole move.
It is.
You know.
But you're still a dick, Logic. Clean it up, please.
But
That's your father.
But really, just I mean, it's interesting. I would love to hear more about that. I do want to say just one thing because we just kind of cut Beyonce off, and we didn't like.
Love you, Bay.
I think it's crazy how it became an instant thing about Beyonce's making a country album. And it's just like things I read. It's like she's gonna because she's now trying to take Taylor Swift on or white people music, and I'm just like,
I didn't even see that, but
it's just so crazy that like as a
what we
society
go
of
to.
viewers, there's stories we have to create on why somebody's doing something that. And it's generally the person that we don't listen to or fuck with or things like that. So it's like, and
it justifies the rage.
I guess, yeah. I mean, because you briefly spoke on it. Somebody went to listen to the Beyonce song they asked for on a country radio station, and like, we don't play Beyonce. Now, I think your point's good. Maybe they never heard of it. Maybe the person on the phone could have been like,
It was the
have you
day,
heard of
was
it?
like brand new.
of
Yeah.
The
So-
release, and he's like, "Can I?"
Totally.
Can I kick
you
it?
know?
Yes, you can.
And to be honest, if I didn't see
All the publications of
If I
it,
didn't see Nadia's post,
you wouldn't even.
which
know.
really was the only reason why I was like, "What's Beyonce doing?" And that brought it up for me.
So that's like what I was telling
Shout out
Josh. Though.
Nadia.
It was all the hip hop and R&B publications that are posting it. No country publications posted that because she's not in that demographic
Sphere, yeah.
or genre. You know what I mean? She hasn't made her name in that genre, so it's like they're not keeping up. One, they probably don't care. Could be just a little Nas X thing. Could be something that's just she's
Yeah.
just coming over here and making.
I was about
a song,
to say that
you know
has
what
a
I
lot
mean?
of parallels with Lil Nas X. Like they weren't
Yeah.
playing him on country stations, but that's obviously country.
Yeah. And it's really kind of funny when you talk about country and what is country. The
perception of country is
'cause-
what.
Because some country I listen to and I'm like, yeah, that's country. But some stuff that's like the hits, I'm like, this just sounds
Good music.
like kind of popular.
Yeah, who's that?
A slide of rock. Like it's a slide because like
Country to me really was like they're singing with an accent
Yeah,
that is
it was the twang in the
prominent.
voice. Yeah, yeah.
But
But
once that left, it became just
I think though, like you said, like there's bluegrass and there's big band, which big band like kind of brought on like the whole thing, and then you have Americana that like had an essence of folk. And like,
because folk is kind of Americana.
yeah, like there is like that, like
Americana would have
But
more or less come from country.
so it's
But
kind
then
of
people would say folk doesn't necessarily come from country. Folk could just be rock.
like when people say, "Do you like country?" And they're like, "Well, I like Johnny Cash, but I don't
It's
really like
like-
country because I think he's more folk." I'm like,